Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know, I'm so sorry, it's been probably 2 or 3 weeks since I posted a video, but I've had a lot of things going on, a lot of life-changing events. So to kind of give you like a brief summary, I left for Las Vegas, I think a couple days, maybe 2 days after I posted my last video. So I was in Las Vegas for a week. So Saturday I had my graduation at Widener University. So I had my commencement. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in computer science. It was very, very exciting. I have been very busy. I was in Las Vegas, had my graduation, started work back full time. But despite the fact that I am starting work full-time, I will be putting out the same amount of videos again. It's just that these last 3 weeks have been pretty busy, so I haven't had the chance to take any videos. But now I'm back. Here is my first video, being back from 3 weeks. This is very, very similar to the look I wore in my last huge haul video. It's a very fiery, coppery, bronzy look. Someone actually asked me to do this look. A subscriber asked me, and I loved this look anyway, so I wanted to do it. I tweaked the bottom lash line a little bit differently than in that video, and I added, the top is the same, but I added one thing, which of course is optional, but I added a Inglot copper pigment upper lash line, I'm sorry, but I tweaked a couple little things just to make it a little bit more unique. So I'm gonna stop blabbing and just get to the video. This is a full face video and I show what I did with my eyes. So I hope you enjoy, and if you want to see how I did this coppery, bronzy, fiery look, then please keep watching. Okay, so let's get started. I did get one eye done already. I didn't do the lower lash line yet or anything, but I did do this eye already. So I'm going to start on my left eye, and I'm going to be mixing Makeupgeek Peach Smoothie and Makeupgeek Cream Brulee together to make the perfect transition shade for my skin tone. And I'm going to be using a Sigma E40 fluffy brush to blend this out. You won't really see this color, but this is just a transition shade to help the other shadows blend easier later on. Then I'm going to go into Makeupgeek Frape. This is just a darker brown, and I'm going to be using the same brush and putting this all over my crease as well. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little bit of Nars Galapagos. This is just a dark brown with a lot of like gold flecks in it. I'm just going to be putting this on the outer V of my eye. I'm going to be using a Sigma E25 for this just because I want some precision, and I'm just going to put this on the outer portion. I'm going to be using this instead of a black just because it's a little bit less harsh, and I think that brown, like a dark brown, goes a lot better with this coppery, bronzy, like fiery look. You can do black too, but I just preferred to do a dark brown this time. Then I'm going to be taking a ColourPop eyeshadow in the shade Drift. This is just like a really, really reddish burgundy. Burgundy colors like this, like these reddish burnt colors, go really well with copper colors. And I'm going to be using a Makeupgeek Outer V brush. Normally for the ColourPop eyeshadows I would say use your finger, but since I'm going to be putting this into my outer part of my crease and my inner part of my eye, I wouldn't suggest using your finger because you won't get precision there, but these shadows show up best with your finger. So you have to pack it on a little bit more with a brush. You want to make sure you're using a synthetic brush, not a fluffy brush. I'm just putting this on the outer part of my crease and also a little bit on the outer part of my lid. Then I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the inner third of my lid. So you want to go ahead and leave the middle part of your lid blank. Then I'm going to take ColourPop Game Face. This is really the main star of this look. It's just a really shiny, ultra impact, coppery, rusty color. And I'm going to be using a flat synthetic brush. This is actually the Urban Decay brush that comes with like the Naked palettes. You want any brush that's flat and oval shaped and synthetic like this. So I'm just going to be packing that in the middle part of my lid that we left blank, and I'm going to blend it into the red that we put. Okay, next I'm going to take some Too Faced glitter glue and put this only on my upper lash line, like kind of where you would put liquid liner, because I'm going to go in with this Inglot Copper Pigment. This is the number 24. I got this while I was in Vegas because they have an Inglot store there physically, and we don't have any of them near me in Jersey that I know of. So I had to go in there and get something. I'm just going to be putting the glitter glue on my finger and just tracing the area along my lash line that you would normally put eyeliner. I'll be putting it up a little bit higher than eyeliner because I want it to be a big area. Then I'm going to take a very, very thin brush. This is actually one from Lit Cosmetics that they use with their glitters. But you can use anything that's really small like this, like any pencil brush. And I'm going to be dipping it into that pigment slightly on the tip, tapping off the excess and putting it along my lash line. And then I'm going to take my Kat Von D tattoo liner. This is just a black liquid liner. This is the best liquid liner in my opinion, and I'm going to draw a wing following the line of that tape. I'm not going to make it too thick because I don't want to cover up the copper pigment you just put on. Now I'm just going to go ahead and remove that tape. And you can see that crisp line we have there. Okay, so now moving on to my face, I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Step 1 primer. It's the mattifying one. Okay, and then I'm taking L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte foundation in the shade 102. This is actually a very light shade. It's because I have no fake tan on. I'm completely pale right now, but I'm using a Morphe G6 flat top buffer to put this on my face. Okay, and then to highlight under my eyes, I'm going to use MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NW20, and I am just using a Sigma F66 to carve out that triangle underneath my eyes. Okay, then I'm just taking a damp beauty blender. I know it's dirty, I'm sorry, but I'm just blending all of that out. Then to set that, I'll be using the banana powder and the Anastasia contour kit and the Sigma F25. Then I will be using the Rimmel Stay Matte powder to set my T-zone. It also helps smooth out pores and lines. Then I'm just going to bronze my entire face just slightly so I don't look orange or anything, but I want to do it so I add a little bit of color because I am extremely pale right now if you can't tell. I'm going to be using the Bobbi Brown bronzer in the shade Medium 2 and using a large powder brush from Sigma and just slightly tapping it in there and just rubbing it all over my face, avoiding the area where we highlighted under the eyes. Okay, and then to set my face, I'll be using the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder. Using that same large fluffy brush, I will be putting a little bit of this on my face. Okay, and then to contour, I will be using the Hoola Benefit Bronzer just because it is a light, cool-toned bronzer. This is good for anyone who has pale skin right now, like me. And I'm using the Sigma Contour F05. It's a small contour. Okay, so for blush, I want like a really bronzy blush. So I'm going to go in with the Amazonian clay blush from Tarte. This is called Prim. It's like a nudish mauve brown. And I'm just taking a Coastal Scents blush brush. This is the BRB S25. I've been using this one a lot lately. And I'm just going to be stippling this onto my cheeks. I'm going to be putting another blush on top. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, and the blush I'm going to add on top, which has like the bronzy effect, is Makeupgeek Romance. If you can see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it has a bit of a shimmer to it. Not too much to where it looks gross or anything like that, but I'm going to be putting that on top. Okay, and then I'm going to do my brows. I'm going to skip over this part for the most part. If you want to see a brow tutorial, I say this in pretty much every tutorial, I will make one. But I'm going to skip over it for now, but I will be using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Dark Brown. And then I set it with a tinted brow gel. This is Benefit Speed Brow. Okay, now that my brows are done, I'm actually going to put on my false lashes onto my top lashes. I'm going to be using House of Lashes Siren. These are brand new. Haven't ever used them, but the style looks really cute. First, I'm going to curl them and then put on Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. I've been using this a lot lately. I don't think that I've used it in a tutorial, but I've really been liking it. I'm only going to be putting mascara on my top lashes for right now just because I'm going to put on my false lashes, but after I do my lower lash line, then I'll put on mascara there. I have to say, these are actually really comfortable lashes because the band is like the thinnest band I've ever seen. It's almost like an Ardell band. I'm very, very lightweight. Okay, so now onto the lower lash line. I'm going to be using that Makeupgeek Frape again that we used in the crease with a flat definer from Sigma. And I'm going to map out my line there to put on my lower lash line, and I'm just going to be smudging that along the entire lash line. Okay, and then I'm actually going to take a new Makeupgeek Fold eyeshadow. This is the shade Untamed. It's like a fiery yellowish copper. I'm going to be putting this along the entire lash line as well. If you want to see all of the new Makeupgeek Fold eyeshadows, my last video was a swatch video and a showing of all the pans of all of the 10 new foiled eyeshadows from Makeupgeek. I will link it down below. And what I'm going to do to give it a bit of dimension is I'm going to use another Makeupgeek eyeshadow, but this was in their previous 10, this one is not a part of the new 10. This one is called Flamethrower, and this one's even more of that fiery coppery color, closer to the one I put on the lid. And I'm just going to be putting this on the outer corner of my lower lash line. Okay, and then I'm just going to line my waterline with any black eyeliner. This is a creamy pencil. This is the Ardency in Modster eyeliner. This I can never seem to put on bottom eyeliner when I'm on camera. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and put on mascara on my bottom lashes. I actually forgot to highlight earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight the inner corners of my eyes and my face at the same time. So I'm just using the Merry Luminizer by The Balm. This is like my favorite highlighter ever. Okay, and then last but not least is the lips. You can really go with any color that you prefer. I wanted to do like a darker nude, very dark nude. This is the new shade by Gerard Cosmetics called Underground. It's actually very similar to Lime Crime Cashmere. And it also reminds me of this one lip pencil that I like. Well, not lip pencil, it's a cream lip pencil, but it's by Bite Beauty and it's called Honeyberry. This was also in my favorites video, I believe, in my April favorites video. So first I'm going to line my lips in MAC Whirl. Okay, so it's a little bit dry for me, so I'm going to actually go ahead and put on a gloss. So I'm going to go with the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Madeline. It's kind of like a brownish gloss. In my opinion, they're not like pigmented glosses, they're just slightly tinted, so you don't have to worry about matching perfectly. But this color in the tube matches similar to the lipstick. Okay, so that is the finished look, you guys. I hope you like it. I really wanted to do a coppery, fiery look, similar to what I had in my video called Huge Haul, I believe, something like that. This is very, very similar. I just tweaked it a little bit just to make it actually a little bit more unique. This is the same colors on the lid. I just changed up the lower lash line, and I changed up putting pigment on the lid. So again, I apologize for not being around for a couple weeks, but if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. You can either click the subscribe button below this video, or you can click the subscribe button at the end of my video. And I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks, bye. Okay, 5th one down. I swatched it a little close to Charmed by accident. So you can see Charmed is the darker olive green, and Fantasy is this lighter springy pastel-y green here.